Welcome to my den. A little non-copyrighted music. So yeah. So welcome to this story today, the show or whatever, this live moon dog show. Um, Today I would like to talk about manifestative properties. Uh, Truly, what does manifestation mean? How does it dialogue out of our mouth? How does it dialogue into our psyche? How does it dialogue from the four personal space to the five external force? Now, always remember when you watch my show, I speak very deeply about the personal space going outward, which is four, and five, the personal space of outward coming in. So, in singularity, five can be like have a single point that would generally be constructed at the root of the four, while the root of the four was constructing four is going out. They are symbiotic and synergistic, and they do work very well together. They actually work so fluidly together they could create life. It's kind of incredible. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me set up? Alright. So I have not seen manifestation myself. Okay. I have not seen something appear out of nothing. But my other one, man, my other one, I lost my I Ching coin somewhere over in this corner. Somewhere over in that corner. But these are important for manifestation. They are a representation of a date, an action, a creation date within the secular time of space. And we've had all three of them come back here. We've had all three of them arrive on this planet. I'll just try to do it again. And the reason I bring these out with manifestation is because what I'm about to describe, this is how one of them gets created. This has been done 3 times throughout the whole secular momentum of time and space, throughout the whole galactic embodiment, not just the Milky Way, but bigger. The threads of veins of stars, and not stars, but the threads and veins of supermass syndrome, where there's just relevant layers of galaxies spewed on top of each other, stretching through veins in space. As big as that. It's bigger. Hold on. Let me see if I can give you a fucking image of what we're talking about. It's important to understand the size of what we're trying to envision here. Size, when you're discussing yourself with someone, presenting your psychology size to them, can overpower someone. I mean, if you knew how to represent your size like I'm doing to you right now, you could overpower the mindset of anyone. But you have to know how to verbally express the limited relationship between you and the opponent. But that's what I'm doing to you right now, and I'm being honest. And this is where all the AI bots step in and start observing me, because power is corruptible. That can be solidification of future, basically. But let me see if I can find this image. I mean, I'm sure we've all seen it before. But I'm just going to reignite it. It's tobacco, not ganja. This is my iPad. I should just say it's ganja, but I want you to see the difference when I'm on something. I want you to know what I'm on. And I haven't taken anything today, just ganja, or just weed, just man, someone's talking in my head. Um, just tobacco today and coffee, tobacco and coffee. Got my coffee, got my tobacco. And, oh, good. That's not the right Google. Someone hijacked my Google account. It's not good. Oh, Trinketti. Trinketti Earth. Trinketti Earth. Trinketti Earth. Look that up. I'm going to research it too. Look that up. Trinketti Earth. It's a definition that I found. Oh, sorry. I like flashing. Alright, so, um, sorry for taking so long. I know YouTube videos are, attention deficit hyperactive people, fine. But I really want to use this image. So hold on. Yeah. Deep space image. See if I can find it. Ultra deep space, maybe? Someone thought ultra. There's an ULTA deep space image. What is it? A computer generated deep space image? What kind of? I mean, the Orphic layer. The Orphic layer, maybe. The Orphic. What would that be called? See, so I'm gonna teach you all something right now. You could use this right now. You could use this term. What was that? The world disappeared. Okay, so I'm not finding what I want. I'm only gonna look once. Orphic humans. Oh, the Orphic hymns by Patrick Dunn. Oh, I found something. I'm gonna have to copy that. Hold on a minute though. But Orphic is a definition driven by India or Hinduism to basically define sides of psychology. Um, what we find now is that money and numbers seem to be. I really want to find it. Someone wants to see it. Would seem to be what psychologically builds. It's almost like India meditated to view through hypnosis the general statements and structure that allowed the external world to exhibit such force even upon anyone. So as I know the Orphic image, the external world can deliver that much force upon my life because I'm aware of the Orphic image. But that usually doesn't happen unless like someone with power abuses the Orphic standard within themselves. See that these standards don't usually get abused in the external world, external force being applied to the forward. So I mean that's the generosity of what it is. You know, no living being could generally bring into effect this they a relationship, a cognitive relationship with someone, and beat them from externally. You'd have to, you would probably generally have to try to draw in the external world, and that's it can happen. Um, but what's this have to do with manifestation? Well, see, that's what we're talking about. I'm trying to give you a variant size of manifestation. So, authentically, with manifestation, um, we think of it like Star Trek. Think of it in Star Trek when they use the button thing to manifest a tool or a hologram deck or food. You know, um, um, it's the manifestation isn't such a relationship that only machines can do it. Ideally, the process that's gone into humanity, the thought process that's gone into humanity, is really ooh, what is that? That is hot. Something is happening. Um, hold on, computer. Um, we are supposed to find the regulations to support. Hold on a minute. I cannot find this image. We humanity has been given permission to. Um, I kind of want to just relax for a second. Hold on. All right. So what the thought process that went into humanity is humans should have the ability to be completely self-reliant, self-sufficient through their birth need. So whatever they were born with, they um, can support themselves with. So if you need medication, say you cut yourself and you need an antibiotic because you're out in the mud pits, you could just, and the pill would show up in your hand, or even, now there's a couple ways to do it. All right, so hold on, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I cannot find this image. I've seen it before. You know the image where it looks just like a natural red veins connected in space? I think they used a computer model, a quantum computer to I. This is it right here. All right, all right, all right, all right. We found it. We found it. Hold on. This computer is fucking. This computer is fucking. Um, I'm just trying to get a relaxed energy vibe here. Where'd that go, dude? I just had it. No, it's gone. No, it's gone. Damn it. See, someone won't let me show it because there it is. Cool. Okay. So I know it's not very clear, but it kind of gives you an idea. Let's see if it'll work on the camera. So this right here, this deep space imaging of us of computer formulation is probably extremely accurate because AI is involved now. And you see all the little, like each little blue dot is a solar system like the Milky Way, and it stretches throughout the Orphic egg. And this is an Orphic syndrome. It's an Orphic syndrome. That's what the Hindus call what reveals space. What reveals space. Okay, so usually when you come to manifestation, you're on a planetary piece of momentum. You just are one person on a planet, and sometimes you're called to save the world, sometimes you're called to hide in the world. This manifestation property that I've run across isn't about saving the world. It isn't about hiding in the world. This is about the fifth power. It's about the fifth force, the external force. It's about getting it to ignite itself in a way that we, as the Orphic condition surrounding this planet, can support. So this planet is basically building with all of humanity and all the races here a relationship with God to release him as himself. Okay? To release him as himself. So to help grasp this concept, we have stretched into the Orphic condition for the whole planet, and manifestation will be explained under the Orphic statement. So what we have here are 4 things, 5 things. Please tell me they look familiar to you. Please tell me they look familiar to you. If they don't look familiar to you, welcome to my planet. Okay, so we have this represents the 5, the 5th one, which ideally isn't a 5th element, but is a force. Is a glue. It's a glue. Okay, this one is more like a glue. So really, a prime mind might deny the etheric qualities of life as a living element like water or air or soil. So, and fire. Now, when it comes to manifestation, making items out of thin air just appear in that container is generally the statement, is a general statement of manifestation. So the qualities you're going to experience about the manifested item will differ. So with these extraterrestrials in Star Trek, we'll just call them Star Trek. We'll just pretend Star Trek was written for my show, and everything about Star Trek is made for me to hide the extraterrestrials. Okay, and we'll call Picard the main guy of the experiment. Okay, I don't know Star Trek too well. I watch it a little bit, but I'm trying to keep up with it. I didn't realize it was going to come here. But we don't want to sit here and just talk about aliens and propaganda of aliens because it just throws you off. So, but they are on a mission to figure this out. did a video last night, and it really sparked this for me. And what you don't want to do is really blow it out, but you don't want to burn yourself. Alright, now we need a candle. We need a candle. You don't have one. So I'm just gonna give you light matches. Where was I? Things are moving in my house. It's throwing me off. So manifestation on Star Trek comes from a machine-based system designed to compress the etheric form into what it needs. Okay? It takes the 5 element, the external force, and compresses it into a negotiated pineapple that you could consume. Now, what they're trying to allow me to experience is that if I manifest this apple right here, see, this is where I want to turn off the light. I'm going to turn off this light because energy you can see without light pretty well. Okay, I don't like it that dark. Well, we're going to try. Okay, I'm going to try to manifest an apple, but I'm not going to manifest like a physical apple. I'm going to manifest my imagination. The limited aspect of what relationships qualify for. Okay, closer. It's my song. It's a little light. Just it's better to observe in low light because you can see flinches. See it right there? Try again. That's my ring. You know, sometimes rings count. Oh, you see it right there? Right there? Try to hold it. We'll try to hold it. So it does look like something is definitely being generated. Alright, so we're going to try to manifest an apple. Ready? And this is kind of what they want you to practice doing, because along with the psychology of the Orphic condition of psychology, this also enables us to expand the psychology of ourselves by practicing imaginative manifestation, which isn't really imaginative, but a process of production. So I'm kind of contradicting myself. I'm aware of that. But I'm going to try to manifest an apple. Can anybody tell me what color the apple is? Alright, so I have this apple here. Red. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bite of it. It's not red. It's green. It's all green apple. I saw a Granny Smith. So I wanted a Granny Smith because I'm familiar with the flavor of it. And it's got a robust flavor. It's got a sharp flavor. It's got something I can tell is there. Okay? So, and that's what I want to go for. I really want to go for what the flavor of the apple is right here. Not the apple itself. So I'm going to attempt to take a bite of my imaginary apple and taste it. Oh, I kind of felt the juice. Kind of felt the sting. It seems like the flavors wanted to come out, but something had me to feel intimately about the textures only. Like the flavors were there in a different frequency, but not a flavor frequency. Like I could still envision them as a chemistry, almost. But really what the experience wanted me to focus on was the textures. So it wasn't bad. No, that's a way. That's what that is. That's a defining the psychology of yourself to be expansive into the 5. Okay, to be able to play with these scenarios logically without looking insane, without looking crazy. Um, this could help because one day, your child could have an upset stomach, and you can tell her to take an imaginary Tums, and it would be more effective than taking a real one. You know what I mean? So manifestation that's a quality of manifestation, to produce an invisible relationship between your mind and that effect that someone just saw, um the the placebo effect. That's right. Thanks. The placebo effect, but can be so strong that it really works. But can what does that it's kind of like saying the Eiffel Tower has one leg. It's standing there, but I only see one leg, man. um, so you have that quality of manifestation, and that's one that I have played with. Um, I've eaten apples. I've eaten apples. Some people would like to think I've eaten women. I didn't mean it. I meant eat the women. You know, you get a good taste of that in your mouth, maybe. I tried to ruin that one bad, didn't I? See, spirits are dirty. They're dirty because we are. That was dog. Um, so there's that manifestation quality. Where are we? We want to keep this short. We want to keep it within 45 minutes. So we don't want to watch a long video. No. So we'll move on. So that's one manifestation quality, the placebo imagination of construction, of texture, synesthetic responses, like baking texture, baking flavors, baking smells, baking sensations. Um, all these sensations are a real quality of the psychological aspect of the external force. So whenever you experience a synesthetic quality, it's usually the fifth force coming in at you to drive your fourth force a certain way. See, we have this compliant understanding where it exists in us, as us, for us, by us. And we're going to try to delegate a true relationship of scientific measurements that can be measured. Okay? Doc, what was that? Crystal. Um, but as you measure things, a lot of the imagination and the synesthesia gets removed. There's once you measure something, there's a lot more to it. That so basically, you're kind of like a toroidal field, and the synesthesias, the top and bottom, and the measurement is the exact center. When you go to measure something exactly through manifestation, you're gonna you're observing the center of the toroidal field. When you go to allow yourself to experience the whole of the toroidal field, you'll see there's a synergistic relationship between sensation, sight, smell, feeling, even fear. And so that's one quality of manifestation that you can play with, to try to build yourself into a stable state of psychologically handling something appearing out of nowhere. And, and usually what they're telling me is that if I were to manifest a bud, a marijuana bud right here, my brain, the energy in my brain, in my heart, might reflect so deeply that it could cause a stroke, or my brain could explode. This concept of source dog blowing you up by contact, it could happen. It could happen as a gag gift as a gag gift, pretty much. What that quality comes from is the separation field, and not allowing us to penetrate the separation field. And some of us has chosen to keep and maintain that intensity of electricity within us. So if I were to manifest medicine right here, that spark that ignites me to blow me up would still happen. But once I've been doing this for so long, I really don't have that spark anymore. I choose to keep that spark because I'm an etheric component of electricity, and I really want to work with electricity. So I want to sustain that conduit that has been given to me through the Starfleet or Star Trek, um, trying to manifest separation from myself and the elements of five. Um, and that's pretty much why we don't qualify ourselves in believing in anything other than what we are. All right, we're 30 minutes into the show. We're gonna move on. All right, so let's get here. Let's get back to here for a second. This is important. So you got that manifestation. You got manifestation of real matter. Um, you have manifestation of real matter that I know of times two. You can find tobacco when you need it. You know, if you need it, when you need it, why you need it, for who, and what will you do with the response? If I give you tobacco, will you share it with someone else? Or will you just blow it in their face? See, now this isn't a legitimate boundary of what we believe God is. This is a mathematical equation of indefinite. The universe likes to create things indefinitely. The universe alone, the patterns that harness even dog, outside of dog, like to sustain things indefinitely. And that's the truth. So mathematically, scientifically, when we're looking at cloning, to be sustained indefinitely through cloning, I mean, don't you think that's a proper understanding for cloning? It's the universe sustaining you indefinitely. I mean, that's just a subtle understanding of cloning that I gather from being sustained indefinitely. Um, but with manifestation, it's pattern oriented really, and everything is just a smaller pattern within itself, defining itself for the bigger acceptance. I am with you, why I'm with you, and where are we with you? Um, the more orientation the inner patterns have, the less orientation the outer patterns can create, sustain, and regain. Um, so when it comes to manifestation, I looked for my tobacco. I found it. I manifested tobacco. I'm out, but I found some. You know, that's a manifestation platform too. Um, having things come in your space through other people or through outer objectives, which another person is still a five. So a five isn't necessarily a dog, but my roommate could be a five. He's if I get something from him, it's just the external world manifesting me objectivity and action and nourishment to sustain the needs that were given to me at birth. And the needs that were given to you at birth, you shouldn't be so hard on yourself about, because they're about the psychological aspect of what you're developing in your heart. Um, what your brain is supposed to do is develop patterns to sustain your emotional needs. And your emotional needs shouldn't be driven from your heart and called ascension. Your emotional needs are valuable. Your needs to smoke tobacco are valuable to you, to the external world. Um, so when it comes to manifestation, the qualities that what I'm being experienced with are complete and utter sustainment. Um, so basically, I mean, in a prophetic answer, this world has permission to allow every human to find the ability to create sustainment for themselves. And the contrast of the truth of that is simply having sustainment removed. The universe and God are that direct about their words when they say something amazing must grow, so humans sustaining themselves indefinitely, cellular, psychologically, emotionally, medically, food, water. They've, that's what I mean. The beginning of humanity has been theologized through the definition of what source is to have an ability of perfect sustainment, so they don't have to rely on any exterior momentum, giving them all the privilege to call themselves what we say are gods. Um, a god is a self-sustained individual that can support himself indefinitely, and that is truly the definition of what God represents. Um, and that goes for hobbies, that goes for transportation, that goes for food, that goes for sociology, psychology, medical. Um, this planet has been given a great gift that has been given to me to hand to you as a show, as a puzzle, as an exploratory definition, as a cave, as an equation. Um, I don't choose to define your reality for you, but just show you exercises that will help you define your reality for yourself. I choose to stay out of here for it. Wow, really? I think this phone is blue. you know, but what? Um, so there's that manifestation quality. I manifested tobacco and I'm smoking it. You know, somehow the patterns allowed me to save that piece of tobacco for this moment. I didn't smoke it all because I was smoking heavy last night. I just was really worried. And in charity and manifestation, when do you accept charity? When you're productive at supporting yourself? You know, just things to think about. I think we're gonna do an hour-long show today. We're gonna do an hour-long show. I'm sorry that it's so long, but this is kind of important. This is making sense, I hope. And I'm gonna continue for the next 20 minutes. I won't go any farther than an hour though, I promise. Now, now you have manifestation, so through synergistically, physically, through pattern orientation, through pattern, that tobacco is through pattern orientation. And then you have manifestation through physical, elemental, physical relationships, like making a Star Trek emulator to create a tool, a screwdriver, to work on a panel. You know, that that quality is what I'm exploring most of all in myself, and in my fifth part, and in my fourth part. And what has come to me are the I Ching. The I Ching, we have three of them here. These I Ching coins have a built-in definition. See that? See that? Have a built-in definition of an Orphic map, trying to find their way out into the pure reality of no matter. And we have three of them. I only have two of them with me. I wonder if it's symbolic. But these come around and are created when we talk about manifesting out of the elements, out of the four elements: water, fire, soil, and earth. And it kind of sounds destructive, but it's actually very intimate, but Dog would find a way to create intimacy from destruction. That's how he clarifies his ability to create it. And what these represent are really elements right here. Let's hope I can get it closer, but what these represent, what these I Ching coins represent, is every time these elements have come together to allow someone to see them this way, they create a coin for themselves. So really what could be stated is that we could be earning another I Ching coin. But with water, manifesting something from water, and water being an element, we're going to try. Ready? Here we go. We're going to try that water manifest something. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to fall to the ground and you'll become a 4-leaf clover. It didn't. It didn't. It didn't. It didn't. Okay, we're going to try again. You're going to fall to the ground and you're going to become, you want to see what it became? There's a shape. It made a shape, you know. Technically, it tricked us because it made that shape, which is really a tower. Can't see it too well, but it's there. See it, that light shining on the edges. That's not really what I was trying to do, but I mean, I was really trying to take it as far as I could. Now, but what I like to do is take this jar of water and turn it into cannabis, dry cannabis, and taking wet water and turning it into dry cannabis, Star Trek can't do. Taking air and turning it into cannabis, Star Trek can't do. Taking soil and turning it into cannabis. I'm kind of feeling they can use soil, change things from soil to, they're saying they can manifest things from soil. And I think we can too. See, soil shows us that the manifestation qualities are also exhibited in the production of action. I can take this soil and turn it into a brick. I can take this soil and turn it into a garden. I can take this soil and turn it into a home. I can take this soil and turn it into a cave. I can take this soil and turn it into a burial. I can take this soil and I can turn it into a shovel. And then I can release it from the shovel. So as I dig in the ground and dig the soil out of the ground, me and the soil and the shovel are one. And then the soil lets go of the shovel. And the soil is no longer the shovel. It is back to soil. And now, fire. Fire is the tricky one. So there's manifestation qualities of fire too. Fire tends to draw our intent most of all. So when you're looking at a small flame and you try to gaze it, you see reflections and reactions according to your intent and will. We'll light another one, and I'll stare at it, and we'll see if we can't get it to flicker, or we'll see if we can't get it to dance. So all the elements tend to have a certain psychological component to manifestation, which manifestation is a general term used to support and supplement the four. What we like to try to qualify is 5, having some sort of manifestative property for itself and for others. Not just me, but have dog manifest me a pill or a food or a pineapple or a glass of water when it wanted to. Not just when I thought it was necessary or when the need arose or the desire arose, but really when dog just felt like giving something of himself to somebody. Which dog just put something on my shoulder. Can you see it? You saw it. You saw what you were supposed to. Good job. So this, I think we're pretty much about done. I'm gonna pretty much call it even for now. I don't want it to be an hour long. It's just too long. But I hope you enjoyed the show. And when you go to think about manifestation, you're thinking about it as a splattery, abstract feeling, and it is up to you to define the intent and the direction of the manifestation to pull into yourself the true reality of what you do deserve, what you feel you deserve, not coagulating with the definition of religion or even spirituality, but just simply the heart. You have a heart, I have a heart, and our hearts matter. And this goes for Star Trek too. All your employees have hearts. They're all vulnerable to this. They all have a right to stand up and define this planet as their home, because this planet called Heart home. Anybody in the Orphic standard that is within this range, or even outside of it, has the ability to call this planet its home. Because this is a heart, full intellectual range of what heart is capable of being. And this standard isn't a standard that all Orphic syndromes throughout pure reality go through. This heart syndrome that our Orphic signature is created is generally one dynamic moment that we need to learn how to inhibit any way we can. Destroying a planet is comparable to that saying, but not relevant to our hearts. Like Dog left that image for me about destruction, so he is here. Thank you, Dog. The image of destruction has to be comparable to the psychology and the intellectual range of heart, so you don't have the weight of guilt upon your heart and create troughs where you end up throwing yourself down a trough and not over a trough. I really wish I could just manifest something for you right now out of thin air and show you, but for some reason I can't, and I'm not sure why. It's one reason I play the lottery the way I do, because I'm always trying to support this manifestation clause that is in the Orphic egg as I work with her to demonstrate these realities for Star Trek, for humanity, and for the ancients of the planet. I want to thank you, and I hope you have a great day. Sorry if it seems a little dry today, but I'm coming down from my spiritual high, and many blessings and good luck. This is 5. The external world is saying goodbye. Damn! Alright, peace out, everybody.